they feel the surrounding, how they feel the things, it will be changing. That is one thing. So that is what adolescence is. We learn it's the stage in their life. It's the stage in their life when they are transitioning from the childhood to the adulthood. It starts from about 12 years of age and continues through 18, 19 years of age. And this period is marked by rapid, um, rapid and significant physical and psychological transformation of the children. like for, like for example, we will see that there will be growth of height, increase in the width of the shoulder in the boys will be increasing, the width of the hip in the girls will be increasing, muscle mass and the muscle strength increases right now. So physical changes takes place during this, right? Plus there is a maturation of the sex organs. The sex organs will be getting mature, right? The maturation of the sex organ takes place. That is one thing. So different kind of changes will take place. Particularly, all these changes that we are seeing are brought upon by the hormones. The secretion of the hormones will be increasing, right? We see that there is change in the size of the body, change in the proportion of the body. So there is change in body size and its proportion. Further, we will see that there will be mood swings, etc. That is one thing. So these are some of the important changes that take place. So far in the class, we have learned about some of them in detail. Like we have learned about the growth of the height. We have learned about how the height will be increasing. We have learned about the increase in the production of the sweat and the oil. So we have learned about that. We have also learned about the why the voice changes as they will be hitting the age of puberty. So especially in the boys, the voice box becomes larger and it is visible, and it is commonly called as Adam's apple. In the case of the girls, the larynx is not of that much size. It is smaller, hence it is not visible. Okay, now. Also, you guys would be aware that the sound is produced due to the vibration of the vocal cords. Sound is produced due to the vibration of the vocal cords. Okay, now. The length of the vocal cord will be it is usually more. It is more in the case of boys, and the length of the vocal cord is shorter in the case of girls. Okay. So these changes we have learned so far. Today we are going to continue with the development of the sex organs. From this we are going to discuss how the development of the sex organ will take place. So by the time the girls and the boys will be hitting the puberty, the reproductive organs in their body are completely developed. They are fully developed. Okay. Yes, Aisha, how are you? So the male and the female reproductive organ will be completely would have completely developed by this time period. In males, what will happen? The testis will start the production of the testis, or the testicle will start the production of the sperms, while in the case of the female, the size of the ovary will increase and it will start the release of the mature egg cells. Yes, Aisha, assalamu alaikum. Good. So what we're seeing in this case now, guys, that by the time girls and boys reaches the age of puberty, then their reproductive organs have developed completely. Then their reproductive organs develops completely. Now, what do we mean by this sense? It means that the growth of the increase in the size, the growth would have taken completely, plus the production of the male and the female sex cell starts to take place. In the case of the males, as we can look at the male reproductive organ here, it namely contains the following parts. Namely, we have the penis, urethra, testicles, scrotum, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, etc. All of this makes up the male reproductive organ. This is the male reproductive organ. Don't count the bladder in this. Urinary bladder is part of the excretory system, part of the urinary system. Okay. So let me tell you again, the penis, the urethra, the testicle and the scrotum in which the testicles are found, then the vas deferens and the prostate gland here, this structure that is the prostate gland, and this structure that is the seminal vesicle. All of them makes up the male reproductive organ. And in the male reproductive organ, the main component is the testicle or the testis that produces, what does it produces? It produces
Testosterone.
the, yeah, it produces that also. But if you were to talk about the male gamete, that is the sperm mainly. Okay, now. So the male gamete that is produced is the sperm. By the way, the male and the female reproductive organs now, they are male and reproductive organ main component of the male reproductive and the female reproductive are called as gonads also. What do we call them? We call as gonads also. So the male gonads are testicles. Male gonads are testicles. In the case of the females, what happens? The female, sorry about that. So the female gonad is, isn't it obvious? Yes, it is ovary. And ovary will start the release of, first of all, its size also increases, by the way, size increases. And it will be producing the ovum, which is commonly called as the egg. And what is ovum? It is the female gamete. Gametes are basically the sex cells. The sex cells which will later fuse to form the zygote and the baby will be forming. The growth of the baby takes place in that manner. So far, I suppose it should be clear to everyone. Yes, Vaiga, Ramiz and Aisha.
Yes, sir.
So that is the case
Yeah.
here. Okay. Is anyone noting it down? So that is something which we have learned. Further, another changes that will take place by the time they are in their puberty. So there will be mental, emotional, and intellectual maturity. There will be development of these things. During the adolescent age, the brain, we say that it has the maximum learning power. Brain has the maximum learning power at that time. The way how an individual will be thinking, how they will be observing things around them, they will start to feel self-conscious. They might get, sometimes they might get a little bit uncomfortable when they are in the social gathering, or they might be feel insecure due to the sudden changes that is taking place in their body, that might make them feel not normal. But all of these changes are completely normal. Okay, now. So mental, emotional, and the intellectual maturity, these are very important aspects of the development of one's personality. These are very important aspects of the personality development. So all these things will be developing. Particularly if you talk about the mental maturity. Mental maturity, emotional maturity, and then intellectual maturity. Vaiga, what's going on in the school right now? Which chapter is being taught?
So my organisms friend info just finished.
Just finished. Okay. Ramiz, all your exams are over, or is there any other papers, other subjects that are left?
We have 3 more exams.
3 more exams. When's the last paper?
21st October.
21st of October. Okay, after 6 days. Aisha, what about you? Which chapter is going on in the school?
Chapter 8, Force and Pressure.
Force and pressure. And all your papers are already over now? All your exam is over?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Talking about the mental maturity. So the mental maturity will basically include, it will talk about your ability to understand, ability to manage the way, ability to manage your emotions, or the ability of how well you can empathize with others right now. So that is what mental maturity is. It includes your emotional intelligence. It talks about the ability of a person to understand and manage their emotions, or how they will be empathizing with others. Empathizing others means that if someone is grieving, someone is sad, someone has suffered some loss, so we share the feelings with them. So that is called as empathizing with the person, right? Now, so that is what mental maturity is. Now, mental maturity basically talk about empathy here. Empathy, this word is clear to everyone. What does empathy mean? Hmm. So
Yeah.
this will be including the emotional intelligence. We talk about the emotional intelligence of the person, or we talk about the ability to understand oneself. Right now, like some people, they will be old enough, they will be in their 30s, in their 40s, but still they will not be having a good understanding of who they are. Getting what I'm trying to say? And someone would be just in the age group of 15, 16 or 17 year, but they will be having a very good understanding of who they are, right? So self identification, self consciousness, so that is what mental maturity is. Okay, so it will be talking about then interpersonal awareness, right? Vaiga, Aisha, Ramiz. So
Yes, sir.
interpersonal awareness, that will also be part of the mental maturity. Okay, no? So that is one thing. So it talks about these things. Emotional intelligence, it talks about interpersonal awareness, etc. When we talk about the emotional maturity, so the emotional maturity will mean that how will you are one is able to express their emotion in the proper manner. Right now, emotional maturity, you will see that some people will not be emotionally mature, while some people will be emotionally mature because they will be able to express their thoughts, express their emotions, or they will be able to regulate or control their emotions in a healthy way, right? So persons who are emotionally mature, they will be very good at maintaining healthy relations with friends and with families and peoples. They will be able to cope up with the stress in a mature manner, and they will be also very good at communicating. So one needs to control their emotion in the proper manner, right? Particularly, a children is not said to have attained a emotional maturity. A 10-year-old kid will not be having will not have attained the emotional maturity. Why? For example, he will be adamant on demanding for certain things. For example, if a children has a habit of eating lots of ice cream, if you were to snatch the ice cream from his or her hand, the children will start to cry a lot. Now his emotions will be triggered, he will start to cry. But at the same time, there's a 18-year boy will or girl, will they also do the same thing?
No.
Obviously no, because they have reached their emotional maturity, they are emotionally mature, and they know how to react to certain situation. So emotional maturity, it talks about the ability to express their emotions or control their emotions in a healthy way. So ability to control or express emotions in a healthy way. Then third thing is that also develops is the intellectual maturity. So intellectual maturity basically talks about the ability to think about things in a proper manner, in a creative manner, to think about things deeply. Okay, na? Or to analyze. If I were to provide you with several informations at one time, then our like when our mind is when several informations are feeded into the mind at one single time, so then we are required to analyze all those information and then we come to the conclusion. Like for example, when you are solving questions in algebra, so there are multiple informations, or you are solving some word problems in mathematics, so multiple informations are given there, right? Now, so all those informations you will be analyzing it and then will be coming to a conclusion, right? Okay. Okay, you guys, now let's do a question on mathematics. Let's do a word problem question. Okay, and see how you guys will be applying your brains on this. Okay. Let's say that in a class of 50 students, there's a class in which there are 50 students. Okay. And so in a class of 50 students, let's say that 25 students, they are opting maths, they are attending the maths class. 30 of the then another 25 is attending the science class. Okay, just take it in this manner. Let's say that, should I write the question or will you be able to hear? I'm going to read the question only for you guys. Okay, now, so listen carefully to the question, all of you. So in a class of 50 students, let's say that 25 students are taking mathematics. They are opting mathematics class. 30 of them are taking science class. Which class they are taking? They are taking the science class. And 15 students are such. Yes.
In a class there are 50 students.
Yeah, in a class there are 50 students. Okay. 25 students are taking the maths class and 30 students takes science classes. And there are 15 students who take both math and science class. Okay, now understood everyone so far? Vaiga
Yes.
and Aisha, you guys also? Aisha, should I repeat
Yes.
the question? Okay. So question is that how many students are taking only a math class and not science class? My
25.
question, you're saying 25. No.
You said only takes math class.
It's no, not right. No, we can't come to conclusion in this manner. See, first of all, keep the facts in the point. I mean to say, identify the information which I have given you. I have told you total 50 students are there. Maths class students are 25. Science class students are 30. And both math and science are 50. Both math and science are 50. So you can do this by using a Venn diagram. Venn diagram, you guys understand now what is a Venn diagram? Like for example, you can draw a Venn diagram like this. So we have drawn two overlapping circles. There are two circles which are overlapping each other. Okay. So one of them will be representing the math. Another one will be representing the science. Got this so far? And the intersection between the two, like this region, it will be representing those students who have opted both maths and science. This intersection will represent those students who have opted both the subjects. So this will be representing how many students as per the question? How many have taken both maths and science?
15.
15. And as for the maths and science, what information do we have? For science, we have
30.
30. And for this, we have
25.
25 now. Right. So 25 students are such who have chosen maths. 30 are such who have chosen science. 15 students are such who have chosen both maths and science. Maths plus science. All of you take your time and solve this question. Question is that how many students are taking only the maths class and not science? Vaiga, any question, any issue in this one?
Yeah, is it
Aisha?
30 students?
No, not 30. Let me repeat the question. Question is that in a class of 50 students, 25 are taking a math class. But did I say that they're only taking maths class? Is that information being given by me? I'm saying that 25 are taking maths class, 30 are taking science class, 15 are taking both maths and science class. By the help of a Venn diagram, I have drawn two overlapping circles in this Venn diagram. So this one is representing this complete circle. Look at this one. That's representing the students who are studying, who are taking maths class. And this another circle represents the number of students who have taken the science classes. 30 students are there, and out of like there are 15 students who are taking both maths and science class. So you have to find the number of students who are only taking the maths class. So it will be simply 25 minus 15 now, whereby only 10 students are taking only the maths class. This shaded region here, in this there are 15 students who are taking both maths plus science class now. Try to understand this. So the number of students who are taking only maths class, it can be calculated by subtracting 15 from 25 here. So there are only 10 students who are taking the mathematics class. So in this question, you had to analyze all the information that were provided to you. Different informations were provided. Aisha, Weiger, and Ramesh, you understood, you guys, why 10 will be the answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no? 10 of them have only taken mathematics. So in this, did you use the mental maturity, emotional maturity, or the intellectual maturity?
Intellectual.
Intellectual maturity, no? So that is one thing here. Hope you guys are getting this. So intellectual maturity, basically, it shows the ability to think in an independent manner or to be able to analyze the information and apply our knowledge in a creative manner and then come to the conclusion. So that is one thing. Let me clear some of the writing from this. Analyze information, think creatively. Think creatively. Okay. Okay. You guys now. How about we do a question on number series? Okay. Let's do one question and then we are going to continue on this. Okay, now. So I'm going to provide some numbers in the series. And let's see how well you guys are able to use the intellectual maturity in solving this. So these are the numbers in the series 2, 1, 1 upon 2, 1 upon 4. After 1 upon 4, do tell me what number should be coming next. What is the next number after 1 upon 4?
Is it 3 upon 4?
No.
Or
Look at the pattern. First of all, observe the pattern. The first number is 2, then 1, then 1 upon 2, then 1 upon 4. What number should come next? Aisha and Vaiga, you guys also do this.
1 upon 8.
1 upon 8. Very good. That is 1 upon 8 now. Why? Because you will see that the successive numbers are being multiplied by 1 upon 2. Isn't it? Being multiplied by 1 upon 2. 2 multiplied by 1 upon 2 equals to 1. 2 to cancel, you are left with 1. 1 multiplied with 1 upon 2, you are getting 1 upon 2. Then 1 upon 2 multiplied with 1 upon 2, you are getting 1 upon 4. And then 1 upon 4 multiplied with 1 upon 2, you are getting 1 upon 8. So each number is being multiplied with 1 upon 2. So in such kind of calculations, in such kind of calculative work, we have to apply the intellectual maturity. So that is something which we have learned. So here we have learned about some of the major changes that takes place in the body when we are in the adolescent age. Further, we will learn about some of the characteristics that develops in the body, meaning that particularly the sexual characteristics. Okay. So as we have learned that there will be increase in the height, increase in the weight, and increase in weight is particularly related to the distribution of the fat in the body. Okay. Those things we have learned. Some other major changes that takes place in the body is due to the secretion of the hormones by the endocrine gland, which we'll be learning later on in detail. We'll be learning about the endocrine gland and the exocrine gland. So some major changes takes place in our body due to the secretion of hormones by these endocrine glands. Okay. Like for example, remember the gonads or the sex gland, basically testis and ovary, which we learned moments ago. Yes, the male and the female gonad, or basically they are the sex glands. Let me write this over here. male slash female gonads are the sex glands. What are they? Yes, Ramesh, they are the sex glands basically. So they begin to form, and they have completely formed, they have completely developed now. So because of the development of the male and female gonads, we will see that there will be development of the sexual characteristics in the male and female child. There will be development of the sexual characteristics in the male and female child, and those uh, sexual characteristics will be categorizing it into two types. Before that, let me write this important point. So I'm saying that as the male and female gonads. What is the female gonad, Aisha?
Egg.
Gonads, it's the gland. Egg or the ovum is the gamete cell.
The ovary.
Oh, very good. So as the male and female gonads develops, both the boys and girls develop sexual characteristics. Now, sexual characteristics will be of two types. We'll be broadly classifying it into two types. The first will be the sexual characteristics. The first will be the primary sexual characteristics. Primary sexual characteristics. And the second one is obviously secondary sexual characteristics. Another important point which we need to understand, that the male and the female gonad, basically the testis and the ovary, they are the endocrine glands. What are they? The term we are using for them is the endocrine gland. They are the endocrine gland. This will be learning in a minute. We'll be learning about this. After some time, we'll be learning about this. So they are the endocrine gland. Keep that in mind. So the male, let me write it over here. Male and female gonads, respectively, testis and ovary, are endocrine glands. Now the question is, what is this primary sexual characteristics and what is the secondary sexual characteristics here? So primary sexual characteristics, say for example, in the case of the boys, will refer to the growth of the male sex organs, which will include the growth of the penis. It will include the growth of the penis, growth of scrotum and the testis. And as for the girls, the primary sexual characteristics will refer to the growth of the sex organs like the uterus, like the fallopian tube, and the ovary in them, as well as the breast. So these are the primary sexual growth in them. The primary sexual characteristics that develops in the girl will be the growth of the sex organs like the uterus, the fallopian tube, and the breast, like that. So this is the primary sexual characteristics. Is that thing clear to everyone?
Yes.
Later on, we will learn about the secondary sexual characteristics also. Okay, no? So secondary sexual characteristics also we'll be learning about it. For example, in the case of the boys, beard will start to come out. Beard will start to grow. There will be growth of pubic hair, underarm hair, and the voice will be changing. So those are the secondary sexual characteristics that develops. Okay, no? And in the case of the girls, there will be development of the breast, widening of the hips. So those will be the secondary sexual characteristics in the case of the girls particularly. As of now, you guys tell me, is the concept of the primary sexual characteristics, is it clear or not?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
sir.
clear. Okay, no? So they are basically, here we basically learned about the development of the reproductive organs in them. Let me write a small definition for this. Primary sexual characteristics refers to growth of male and female reproductive organs. Namely, in the male, we have learned growth of the testis, penis, as we learned, growth of the testis, growth of the penis, growth of the scrotum as well. So these are the primary sexual characteristics. In the case of the female, what we have learned, the growth of the fallopian tube, the growth of the size of the ovary and the uterus. These are the primary sexual characteristics that develops in them. Hope this much should be clear to everyone. Okay, now. Now the question is, what are the secondary sexual characteristics? Vaika, please read the given paragraph. Yes, Vaika, read it aloud.
Okay, sir. What are secondary sexual characters? At puberty, some changes occur in both males and females that distinguish them from each other. The features that develop in them are called secondary sexual characters. In boys, some secondary sexual characters are facial hair growth, growth on hair on the chest, under the arms, and public area. Some
Pubic area.
Pubic area. Some secondary sexual characteristics in girls are development of breast, the growth of hair under the arms, and the pubic area.
Basically, the pubic area, it refers to the lower part of the abdomen. The lower part of the abdomen that is just above the genital organs. That is called as the pubic area, in which hairs will be growing. Talking about the secondary sexual characteristics here, as puberty, as you have read here, some changes occurs both in males and females, because of which they will be distinguished from each other, visible difference between them. So the features that develops them in them, which makes them, because of which they can be distinguished, the male and female are distinguished. That is the secondary sexual characteristics. Growth of facial hairs in the case of boys, growth of hair on the chest, under the arm, and in the pubic area. And in the case of the girls, development of breast, growth of hair under the arms, in the pubic area, widening of the hips. Those are some of the secondary sexual characteristics in the girls, right? So that is it which we have learned. Now further, the question is that how the changes in the human body occur at the time of puberty. All these changes that we have learned so far, how all these changes are being brought about, how are all these changes taking place, whether it be growth of height, whether it be increase in the secretion, increased sweating and increased production of oil from the oil gland, whether it be change in mood, change in the shape and the size of the body, development of the sexual characteristics, whether it be primary or the secondary, how all these changes are taking place. So these changes are taking place due to the action of special chemical fluids in our body called as hormones. The question is like, what are hormones? So hormones, they are the kind of chemical messengers. We call them as chemical messengers. Basically, they are the chemical substances that will be helping in coordinating different functions in our body by transferring message from one part of the body to another. Basically, message will be transferred from one part of the body to another via the through the blood. It will be transferred. Let's take one example. I suppose all of you would have heard of the adrenaline hormone. Here, Ramesh, Aisha, Vaiga. Adrenaline hormone, it's a common term. So what happens that whenever our body is our body or we humans are in a fight or a flight situation, when we are in a very stressful situation or we are in an emergency situation, so thereby there are two triangular shaped glands present over the kidney that will be secreting a hormone called as adrenaline hormone. This adrenaline hormone secreted by the adrenal gland, let me write this first here, it will be first going into the blood. Where will it go? It goes into the blood. So here, see this over here. See this adrenal gland that you're seeing over here. You guys can see this structure, this triangular shape here. Triangular shape structure. Right now, don't focus on what is written over here. Just focus on what I'm saying. So it will be secreting the adrenaline hormone, and it secretes this hormone into the blood. Where does it go? Is Aisha? You guys turn your
In the
cameras on in the
blood.
class.
Into the blood.
Into the blood. And the blood will be carrying that adrenaline hormone towards our heart. It will be bringing that adrenaline hormone towards the heart, and the what will happen now? The heart rate will increase. The pumping of the blood by the heart will increase. Pumping of the blood will become faster. So thereby the heart rate is increasing. So because of which the supply of the blood in the body will increase. As the supply of the blood will increase in the body, you guys tell me, it's a common thing. After stretching the body, when we do, for example, some of you would be doing yoga, some of would be going on a walk, going on to run for a few miles. So after that, do we not feel energetic? Like, do we not feel very active after doing some stretching, doing some exercise? Because the blood flow increases now, right?
Yes, sir.
So as the blood flow will increase due to the increased rate of the heart now, our body will feel energized. So say for example, if someone is being chased by an animal, a boy or girl is being chased by a dog, for example. So at that time, the body will get very extra amount of energy. The body will get good amount of energy, and the person will be, the boy or the girl will be able to run very fast to escape from that danger. So this adrenal gland is secreting a hormone called as adrenaline hormone, which goes into the blood, and from there it will be going into the heart, and the heart rate increases. And as the heart rate increases, the flow of the blood in the body increases. And if the flow of the blood will be increasing in your body, and as we know, the what flows in the blood carries the oxygen. Yeah, blood carries the food. And where does the food and the oxygen goes? It goes to each and every cell in our body, isn't it? It goes to each and every cell in our body. So if our cells will be getting higher amount of oxygen and food, so the cells will become more active. You will be feeling more energized, and the children or the person will be able to run faster than usual, or will feel more energized when they are in a stressful situation. Let me sum up the whole thing what we have done so far, what I have said so far in this. What I said that above our kidney, I'm just giving one such example of hormone. There are several hormones in the body. I'm just giving one such common example. Say that this is the kidney in our body. Above the kidney, this triangular shaped structure, this is a gland. Its name is adrenal gland. Now, adrenal gland, as I have said, what does it secrete? What is the hormone?
Adrenaline.
Exactly. So it secretes adrenaline hormone. Now, this adrenaline hormone, where is it being secreted? Into the
Blood.
blood, exactly. So it has been secreted into the blood. And the blood will be carrying it towards which organ?
Heart.
Towards the heart, no? So it goes towards the heart. So it will be going towards the heart. Now the heart rate will increase. The heart rate will increase now.
Yes, sir.
So increase in heart rate. And as the heart rate will increase, so thereby the blood flow will increase. flow of blood increases and we get energy from this. Now the point of this, the basic thing here which we have discussed so far here, that this hormone, that is the adrenaline hormone, it has acted as a messenger, it has acted as a chemical messenger. Like from this part of the body, from this gland, the message was sent to the heart. the 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 message from this adrenal gland was sent to the heart, and the heart responded by increasing its pumping. The heart rate increased, and because of that, what happened, now the flow of blood increased. The flow of blood is increasing, so thereby what is happening here, the cells will be reaching more getting more amount of oxygen and food. Now cells will be getting more amount of oxygen and more amount of glucose, basically the food. As a result, you'll be feeling more energized. So isn't it acting as a chemical messenger? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It is signaling the different part of your body what to do. It has signaled your heart. This adrenaline hormone has signaled your heart what to do, how to respond in a stressful situation. So that is the reason. That is the reason why the hormones are called as chemical messengers. It is because of this. They will be kind of acting as a chemical agent that goes around different parts of the body and will be telling the different parts of the body what to do, when to do. And this is basically the crux of the discussion here. Kind of they are carrying the instructions and information from one part of the body to another. Hope that should be clear to everyone.
Yes.
Okay. That is one thing. Now the hormones which we are learning now, they are particularly produced by the endocrine gland. They are particularly produced by the endocrine gland. So is there any other type of gland also? Yes, there is one more type of gland. In total, there are basically three types of gland in our body. The major ones are the endocrine and exocrine gland, which we are going to learn. But the question must be arising in your mind, like what is gland? Yeah, the basic question you guys should be thinking, like what gland is. So glands are basically it's a kind of an organ that will be making different kind of substances. Like for example, some of the glands make tears, some of them make saliva, some of them produces digestive juices, some produces milk, some produces hormones, etc. So these are the different organs that will be producing several kind of substances. It could be saliva, it could be oil, it could be sweat, it could be milk, it could be the hormones, or it could be the digestive juices. Getting it what I'm trying to say? So it is an organ in our body that will be producing and secreting different kind of substances that an organism will require. That an organism will require to perform a specific function. Take for example the case of the adrenal gland here. Adrenal gland, it is an organ that is producing the hormone by the name of adrenaline, and it has a particular function to perform in the body. Similarly, we will be having other glands in our body. For example, salivary gland, it produces saliva. What does the saliva do to the food? Yes, what does the saliva do in our food?
It breaks it down.
Breaks down which component of the food?
Glucose.
Glucose.
No, starch. No, it does the partial breakdown of the starch in the food, not completely. Just the partial digestion of the starch takes place. Okay, so isn't it doing a function here? It is performing a function. So that is what the glands are. They are an organ. Just let me write a definition for this. So glands, they are the organs that produces and secretes special fluids like saliva, like sweat, digestive juices, hormones, milk that have a specific function to perform. Specific function to perform. Hope that should be clear to everyone. Now we are classifying these glands into three different types. First of all, I want you guys to look at the glands here before we classify them. Tear glands are present in our eyes. Salivary gland are present in our mouth. Then there is the sebaceous gland, and the sweat gland is present in our skin. Then our stomachs also have some digestive glands that will be producing the digestive enzymes. Mammary gland produces the milk. Liver is also a gland. In fact, liver is the largest gland in the body. An important point is that liver is the largest gland in the body. Keep that in mind, okay? Pancreas, that is also a gland, and it will be producing the pancreatic juices. Intestines, inside the intestines also there are some glands that will be producing the mucus. Then look at these glands as well. The gland, like they are very small glands that will be equal to the size of a pea, the green pea that that we eat. So there will be gland as small as that will be present in our brain. Respectively, you have pineal gland, pituitary gland. Then we have a thyroid gland. You guys would have seen the person suffering from goiter, how their thyroid gland will be swelling, and because of that, the throat swells up. Then thymus gland, pancreas, adrenal, then these gonads, respectively, the male and female ovary and the testes. So all these are important glands in our body. And see, we have to categorize them into two different parts. Can you guys tell me one observable difference between the two? You guys think about this and what could be the difference between them? Take, for example, take any two glands. Take one gland from this. Take, for example, adrenal gland, which we have discussed, or take the sweat gland, okay, which we have discussed earlier in the class. You guys remember the sweat and the sebaceous gland, or forgot about it? So you guys think of what is the difference between the two. Okay, you guys tell me, what is the secretion of the sweat gland? It is what does the sweat gland secrete?
Sweat.
Sweat, no, obviously. Yes, Aisha and why you guys are taking this much of time in responding to this simple question? It simply secretes sweat now. Where does the sweat come out in the body? Where is it released?
On the skin.
Onto the skin, right? Vaiga, Aisha, everyone.
Yes, sir.
And the adrenal gland, what does it secretes?
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline. Does the adrenaline comes onto the surface of the skin, or does it go to the other part? Like, does it go to the blood?
Blood.
Blood, no? Very good. So here is the main distinction between the exocrine gland and the endocrine gland. The secretions of the exocrine gland are released onto the surface of the body or to the surface of the other organs. It does not goes directly into the blood. It does not goes into the blood. Further, you will see that in the case of the exocrine gland, there will be a tube-like structure called as duct. If you guys were to go back to this diagram here, I want all of you to pay close attention to the sebaceous and the sweat gland. This is a sweat gland, and can you guys see this duct? Duct is basically a tube-like structure that is being called as duct here. So you guys can see this duct-like structure is present, right, Aisha and Ramiz and Vaika?
Yes, sir.
And this oil gland also has the duct-like structure. Like, take a look at this. It might not be visible properly, but it is there. Okay, no? So there is a tube-like structure to which these glands are connected. But in the case of the endocrine gland, there are no duct-like structure. There isn't any tube-like structure present in them. So that is another difference between the two. So in the case of exocrine gland, the secretions will pass through a duct-like system to the surface of the body. It will pass through a duct system, or if you're getting confused, instead of duct, you can understand through a tube system to the body surface. Endocrine gland, its secretion will pass directly to the blood. Where does it go? It goes directly into the blood. Further, there are no duct-like structures in this. You don't have to learn about lymph, so we are not going to discuss this. Okay. So it goes further. I say that duct-like structure is not present in this. So many times, since duct is not present, we call them as ductless gland. What do we call them? Ductless gland. Now, in higher classes, generally you will be learning that there are some glands that are mixed glands. Some glands are mixed glands. What does it mean? It means that their secretions, they will be having, they are both endocrine and exocrine. Okay, na? They are both endocrine and exocrine in nature. That is one thing. Particularly about this, you will learn that pancreas, testis, and the ovary, they are the mixed gland. Pancreas, testis, and ovary, they are the mixed gland, by the way. That is one thing. But it does not mean that the pancreas is not an endocrine gland. Pancreas is an endocrine gland also, but and it is a mixed gland also. Okay. Is testis and the ovary, they are the endocrine gland as well as the mixed gland. For the sake of convenience, you guys can just remember about this much only: exocrine gland and the endocrine gland. The examples of that are as follows: the tear gland, salivary gland, sweat gland, all this. And here we have the endocrine gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, testis, and ovary. So that's it for today. A small part is important portion that is left to be done in the chapter. We'll be learning about the sex determination and functions of some of the important glands. And later on, we'll be learning about the reproductive health and how the hormones will be controlling the life cycle of the insects, how it will be controlling the metamorphosis. Okay. Before we end the class, I have some questions. You guys tell me which out of the two glands is called as ductless gland? Which one is called as the ductless gland? Aisha, Ramiz, Vaiga. Which is the ductless gland?
Exocrine gland.
Exocrine gland. Vaiga, what about you? And Aisha? You guys tell me if you guys are having doubt in any particular topic, any concept. Just stop me there. So I'm having difficulty in this. Please explain this again. Huh? Or if the pace of the class is very fast, I will be slowing it down. Moments ago, we have learned that the endocrine glands, they are called ductless gland. The reason is that duct is simply not present in them. Getting it, Ramiz? And all of you? So they are the ductless gland.
Yeah,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Answer one more question to me. What are the gonads? GONADS. What are they? Recall about this. Try to recall. Aisha, you there?
So is it the fully developed organs of male and of female?
It could be any organ then. It could be lungs, heart, kidney, anything. And it's in fact we are not in fact we were learning about the glands in that, not an organ basic, like particularly we'll be learning about glands.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Ramiz.